For complete control over your report layout, you're going to want to explore the Report Design view. Many of the features that we went over with form design also apply to the design of reports, which makes it easy to apply what we already know. However, reports have a structure that is distinct from most forms, which adds another aspect to their construction. Most forms display only a single record at a time. Reports display many records, one after another. Let's open up that employee phone number report, and I'm going to open that in Design View by right-clicking on it and going straight to Design View. Now you might be surprised at how short this is. The nature of a report is that there are several sections, but they get stacked one on top of another over and over again. We only have to design each piece of the stack one time, and Access just repeats it as many times as it needs. At the top of our report, we have the Report Header section. That's this area right here. The report header will only appear at the very top of the very first page in the report. After that, we have a page header. The page header section will appear at the top of every page. Then we have the last name header. The last name header appears every time we have a new employee for our report. Below the last name, we've got this detail section. The detail is the meat of our report. It's where all of our phone numbers are going to appear. If an employee has 3 phone numbers, we'll get 3 detail sections stacked on top of each other before going to the next employee, which will have a new header. Then, we'll have phone numbers over and over again for that employee. Once we get to the bottom of the page, we get a report footer section. The report footer section is here and currently has calculated boxes that'll give us the date stamp and the number of pages. Then we go to the top of the very next page. That gives us a new page header, then a name header for our employee, phone number, phone number, phone number in the detail section, the next header for the next employee, more phone numbers, and so on. When we run out of phone numbers, we get this report footer section. Our report doesn't currently have a footer, but if it did, it would appear at the very bottom of the very last page. Let's make some adjustments to our report now. I'm going to take our detail section, and right above where it says page footer, I'm going to get this double-headed arrow. I'll click and drag it down just a little bit here. Now let's see how that affects our report. I'll switch my view into print preview mode, and you can see that we get a gap below every single phone number. And since that repeats over and over and over again, that can dramatically increase the spacing and layout of our report. Typically, you're going to want to keep your report design as compact as possible so that your data rows follow one after another. Let's go back and close Print Preview. That'll take us back to Design View. The typical workflow when working in Design View is going to have you open up some space here in a detail section, for example, and then move fields around. Then when you get everything organized the way you want it, you'll go back and collapse everything down as tight as possible. I'm going to add a line here that'll separate our phone numbers. In order to do that, I'm going to work in this detail section. I'm going to highlight this type and number field, and using the arrow keys, I'm going to move them down to give me some room. Then I'll deselect them by clicking over on the edge. I'm going to go up to the controls group up here, and I'll scroll through the list until I find the line here. I'm going to click on my form, and I'm going to drag out a straight line starting at the left side and going all the way over here to the right. When your line is perfectly horizontal, it actually looks like it disappears. If it does that, go ahead and let go of the mouse and you've got a perfectly straight line all the way across. Now let's go ahead and change the color of it. I'll go to the Format tab, and under Shape Outline, I'm going to choose this medium green color over here on the right. Now I'm going to move it up so it's tight against this detail section. I'll press the up arrow key a couple of times until it's all the way at the top. If I press it too many times, it'll jump up into the last name header. I can see it's highlighted right up here. I'll press down one time to move it to the other section. Now I'm going to highlight type and number again, and I'm going to use my up arrow keys to move them all the way up to the top. Once I've got those tight against the edge, I'm going to grab the bottom of the detail section here and drag that up again to sandwich it all together. Now let's go ahead and change our view again. Go to Design, go to View, and go to Print Preview. Now you can see we have a line separating every single one of our numbers. Let's go ahead and close the Print Preview to return to Design View. So other than the structural difference, the design of reports is almost identical to the design of forms. You have the same tabs going across the top. You have the Design tab with our controls in it. Our header and footer options are here. We can add existing fields from our record set, or we can open the property sheet to explore the properties for every single option, just like in forms. On the Arrange tab, over here on the right side, we have our options for arranging our items, for aligning them to each other, or for bringing them in front of each other, or setting them behind each other. On the Format tab, that's where I'm going to go to adjust colors and fonts, or set images here. Unlike forms, we have a new tab here called Page Setup. The Page Setup tab has options for setting our page size and adjusting the orientation of our paper. So overall, building reports is nearly identical to constructing forms. We'll use the same tools and techniques that we've already been practicing. Keep in mind the stacked nature of the report structure with the repeating sections, and you'll be well on your way to creating some very attractive and well-organized reports.